Rule number 79. The adjectives dignus, indignus, aptus, and idōneus take a subjunctive clause, introduced with a relative. Rule 78 discussed relative clauses of characteristic, where a relative clause introduced by qui, quae, quod has a verb in the subjunctive mood, expressing a characteristic about a generally unspecific antecedent. Multa dicunt, quae vix intellegam. They say many things which I hardly understand, or which are of the general characteristic that I hardly understand them. In this rule, we're going to look at an extension of the relative clause of characteristic, this time with the adjectives dignus, worthy, indignus, unworthy, aptus, suitable, and idōneus, also suitable. In general, these four adjectives can be followed by relative clauses of characteristic. From Cicero, digna in quibus e laborarent, things worthy on which they should work, or less literally, things worth spending time or effort on. The quibus here refers back to our digna, but gives us a general description of these things. Tibi fortasse idōneus fuit nemo, quem imitarere. Perhaps no one is suitable to you whom you would imitate. Our relative clause here is showing the characteristic of this nemo, no one, following our adjective idōneus. And we can shorten our translation here to perhaps no one is suitable to you to imitate. From Ovid's Heroides, est mihi quae lanas moliat apta manus. I have a hand, est mihi manus, suitable to working wool, or more literally, a suitable hand which is of a sort to work wool. We often can get by with translating this relative clause with a to, which recalls the relative purpose clause, but as mentioned before, this use is really more closely connected to the relative clause of characteristic. Note that the hand here isn't actually working the wool, it's just suitable, or has the characteristic of being good for working wool. Poets often will use an infinitive instead of a relative clause with these adjectives, a use which is rendered more easily into English. Again, from Ovid, vivere dignus eras. You are worthy to live, or worth living. The infinitive vivere replaces a relative clause like qui viveres. And so this has been rule number 79. The adjectives dignus, indignus, aptus, and idōneus take a subjunctive clause, introduced with a relative.